Welcome back. Real investment in real infrastructure helps American families. It makes workers more productive, which means their earnings rise. But the monstrosity Biden's handlers sent him out to announce this week was not an infrastructure plan. It was an infra cover for a corrupt payoff to Democrat union donors. Less than 6% would be spent on roads and bridges. The whole thing's a con. And here to help us sort it out is South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace, who's on the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. You really care about infrastructure. We've talked about that before. What do you make of this?
Well, I think the Biden administration should rename the package as the Green New Deal, because almost half of the money being spent in this monstrosity, as you clearly defined it, could be spent on Green New Deal type of wasteful spending. And you have the left redefining child care as infrastructure, social justice as infrastructure, caregiving as infrastructure. The vast majority of the bill, 70% of the bill, has absolutely nothing to do with what we would call transportation and infrastructure. And I don't know how you sell this to the American people with a straight face, Steve.
And so what do you think is going to happen in Congress? You hear them talking about, oh, we're hoping it'll be a bipartisan bill. I mean, you're going to be right there, dealing with it. What do you think is going to happen? What's going to be your strategy on this?
Well, they said the same thing when we had the last round of the COVID stimulus package. They said it would be bipartisan, there would be unity, and there wasn't any. They did it through a budget reconciliation process. We're hearing that could happen with this package. We're not sure yet. We've got to do everything we can to fight the wasteful spending. This is not an infrastructure package. This is not bipartisan. And so far this year in the Biden administration, they're talking about $7 trillion in new spending when you add all of this up in the spending we've done so far in this infrastructure package. And so I don't know how you do this. And in the meantime, to afford this package, they want to present the largest tax hike in American history in the middle of a pandemic. I don't see how we can move forward with this at all.
And just finally on infrastructure, what would you like to see if you had a free hand in terms of, let's say you could write an infrastructure bill, what would you have in it?
I would certainly invest more in our roads and bridges. It should be more than 5% of the package. There's just 1% that's going to airports alone. Less than 1% is going to ports and inland waterways. I mean, we have so much to recover from the pandemic. Businesses are suffering. We have supply chain issues. We have issues with our ports and the supply chain. I mean, we should be investing in infrastructure across the board. We shouldn't see investment. For instance, there's $175 billion in electric vehicles being invested here. I would love to own an electric vehicle. I have friends that own them. Yeah. But, you just can't, that kind of investment should be done in the private sector. And then meanwhile, they're going to spend $200 billion to make our power grid greener, the power grid they just overloaded with electric vehicles. I don't understand it. It's not logical. It doesn't make any sense.